Chatbot fans, and welcome to Growth Marketing Summit Advanced B2B and B2C Lead Gen Strategies for 2019. Super happy to have you here, and I'm actually pre-recording this session because I'm on a business trip in Denver, Colorado, beautiful Denver, Colorado, and I'm actually meeting with a client. We just finished a meeting with a client today, talking to them about launching strategies for chatbot marketing through MobileMonkey for their business. They're one of our largest clients. We're going to actually talk about a couple of the strategies that we're implementing for them today. I don't have that much time in the session. I think it's 20-25 minutes. So I want to jump in real quickly, but briefly just introduce myself. My name is Isaac Rudansky. I am the CEO and founder of Adventure Media Group in Long Island, New York. We're one of the fastest growing digital agencies in our area. We work with clients, helping them with their pay-per-click campaigns, landing page optimization, conversion rate optimization, etc. I'm one of the best-selling online instructors on udemy.com, with over 102,000 students enrolled in my courses on the topics of pay-per-click advertising with Google Ads, landing page design, retargeting, and my newest best-selling course is a course that teaches people how to use MobileMonkey, which is Larry Kim's software. It's the world's most advanced and popular chatbot building software. It's really cool. And in fact, what I'm going to talk to you about today are some specific practical strategies that will help you become a better online marketer using Facebook Messenger and MobileMonkey to run chatbots that will help you scale your lead gen strategies and actually make them a lot more profitable, a lot more effective, with a way higher engagement rates than other channels you're seeing like email and paid search. I apologize. I have a little bit of a cold, so if I sound a little bit off, I'm just recovering from that. I'll do my best to make it through. Just real quick, you could find me online at Isaac Rudansky. You could check out some of my courses on udemy.com, and you could check us out online, www.adventureppc.com. I look forward to seeing you guys there. So I want this session to be very practical. So I want to move away from some of the philosophical concepts that I actually spoke about in my last session on this summit, on the virtual summit series. Many of you might have attended that, and we talked about psychological principles of advertising and marketing and persuasion and scarcity and likability, things like that. I want to jump into something a little bit more technical, more practical. You can walk away with implementing some of these strategies for your business today. So this topic is called B2C Chatbot Secrets, Practical Chatbot Blueprints for B2C Customer Acquisition. And let's jump right in. Prizes, contests, giveaways, sweepstakes, oh my, this is what we're going to be talking about today. Chatbots are a new medium that brands are still struggling to conceptualize. A lot of the clients that I've spoken to sort of think of chatbot marketing as sort of like email marketing, or even worse, as a way to generate leads for email marketing. That's not what chatbot advertising is at its core. You're able to leverage the not only mobile optimized nature of Facebook Messenger with chatbots, but the personalized nature, the conversational tone to interact with leads in a completely revolutionary way. And it's the businesses that are doing this, that are getting started, are seeing incredible success, super high engagement rates. And some of the techniques for running campaigns using Facebook Messenger marketing, they're really different than email marketing. And what we found is when you could come up with a good way to run a promotion, a contest, a sweepstake, a prize, they're super effective. Chatbot advertising, like I mentioned, combines the social behavioral affect where people want to be with other people. People want to be connected with other people with individualized personal conversations. So if email marketing is like posting a billboard or like a bulletin, Facebook Messenger marketing through MobileMonkey is more like a personalized conversation that has this social behavioral component to it. It's not like a one-on-one conversation or a private text message, although that's the context, but when you leverage the social component of it, that's when you can have really powerful lead gen strategies, and I'll talk to you about a couple of those ideas. The reason why I love coming up with ideas for prizes, contests, giveaways is that they work really well for a couple of psychological reasons. One, people love winning. They love contests. They jump at the opportunity to win anything for free, to get involved. You'll see a much higher click-through rate on click-to-messenger ads, which is one of the ways of getting traffic into MobileMonkey, into your chatbot software lead gen system. And I'm not going into detail about MobileMonkey right now because it's a huge software. There's a lot to learn about it. If you're interested in learning more of these concepts in detail, you could check out mobilemonkey.com. You could check out my course on Facebook Messenger marketing with MobileMonkey. There's a lot of content there. So I'm going to take for granted perhaps a certain amount of information that you may or may not already know or understand, but just try to bear with me there. So anyway, people love getting involved with these sorts of prizes. But there's a couple problems when it comes to assessing a marketing plan where you're going to be giving away something for free. You're going to be enrolling people in a contest. You're going to be running a sweepstakes or whatever it is. So first, how do you not cheapen your brand, right? You don't want to like give away things to make it look like you don't value your products. Like that's not something you want to do. And you could run that risk if you're doing this without careful consideration when you're running these promotions and sweepstakes. Second of all, how do you calculate the return or the predicted return from giving away things for free? Because there's costs associated with giving something away for free, or with giving a certain discount, or with picking a contest winner, right? There's costs. So how do we analyze that in the context of a marketing campaign? And how do we even psychologically relate to that? And this is especially relevant if you're dealing with clients and you're trying to convince them. And I would just tell you this like right off the bat. I manage a lot of campaigns. My company manages a lot of campaigns for a lot of clients. I'm not saying that to brag by any means, but I have yet to find a company that we can't come up with some sort of contest, giveaway, sweepstakes, prize, promotion that can't work really well in line with the brand voice that they're trying to develop and trying to portray. So I want to show you an example of an actual live bot that we're running for a company that's actually super, super effective. This is an IV hydration company out in Las Vegas. For those of you who have been in my course, you'll be familiar with this brand. And let's just play this as is. You're seeing this as a desktop experience, but this also works, of course, on a mobile phone. So in order to send you a free IV treatment, please tap or click your email address below. So the first thing we're doing is getting the person's email. So it says, thanks, Isaac. Now on to the contest. Click or tap one of the three choices below. How many minutes do you think it takes for a hangover eye treatment to completely cure a severe hangover? If you guess the right answer, you win a free IV hydration therapy treatment. So I want to pause now and just walk you through this briefly. This is a contest where it's designed for everybody to win. And the idea is, okay, like just to get you involved, guess how long it's going to take for our treatment to work. And you're accomplishing a couple things here. One is you're getting people involved into the system. You're getting leads. You're able to run drip campaigns and chat blasts as time goes on. You're also collecting the email. And again, we're asking people to guess the right answer, which if they do, and if they understand sort of the communication thread here, they're seeing the value of this product, that it works really well and it works really quickly, and you'll see how it goes. So let's continue playing here. So we have the typing widget here in MobileMonkey to sort of simulate that live conversation, to simulate that high fidelity experience. Sorry, Isaac, that's not the right answer, but we want to give you another try. Give our quiz one more shot. How many minutes does it take for one of our IV hangover treatments to completely cure a severe hangover? And now I'm going to click the right answer, which is 19 minutes. And of course, since we're fun and we have some personality, woohoo, that's the right answer, Isaac. We send them a GIF, some more typing. And then we say, we can't wait to buy one of your friends an IV hydration treatment. When you're ready to book, call us or visit us online at resetiv.com. Mention code FBQuiz19. When you purchase at least one treatment for yourself, the second treatment will be on us, a value of $349. And then we say, is it okay if we ask you a couple more questions? No pressure. This is when these bots get extremely, extremely valuable. We've just given you some value. And now if you remember the reciprocity principle, leads are motivated to continue to engage. We just gave you something for free. And now we're going to ask, have we ever tried IV hydration therapy before? Now, of course, if you guys know how MobileMonkey works, we're saving these as attributes in the back end. We're now creating bucketed lists of people who are leads who have tried IV hydration therapy before and people who have not tried IV hydration therapy before. Then we ask users, why? Which option best below describes the main reason you'd hesitate before trying IV therapy? Are you afraid of needles? Too expensive? So let's say we choose afraid of needles. And at this point, of course, we're also collecting that information, afraid of needles, or the reason why they'd hesitate, as another attribute in the backend. So now we could send content related to the fear of needles. We could send content to the fear of it being too expensive, etc. And then we say we use the highest quality needles money can buy. In fact, the needles we use are on average 3 times more expensive than the needles that your hospital or physician's clinic uses. Before you go, would it be okay if I asked you a couple more quick questions? And we're actually seeing a very high engagement rate on these follow-up questions. We ask them, the next question is, how many times a week do you drink? And you type in an answer. It could be a free association. Again, we're saving that answer as an attribute. Thanks, Isaac. Isaac, will you be traveling to Las Vegas or Miami in the next 4 weeks? Yes. Again, we save that as an attribute in the back end as well. Thank you so much for your responses. Here are some helpful links in case you want to explore Reset IV some more. And then they could book by phone, with a phone number link, view our packages and client reviews which both send users to a landing page on their website. So here's a bot that starts off with engaging people in this contest or in this quiz. Like, can you guess? And people love to be able to guess the right answer if they're going to win something for free. We'll talk about a couple reasons why that's the case. And then we go ahead to build a bot that actually collects very useful information that we'll be able to use to personalize our marketing. So now we could have an audience of 7,000 people who have not tried this before because they're afraid of needles, and they're coming to Vegas in the next 3 weeks. That's a target. We could send them content about needle safety, customer reviews, things like that. Very, very hyper personalized in a very mobile optimized way on their mobile devices in Facebook Messenger, which of course, as you guys all know, is the world's most popular messaging application, period, by far. So here's an example of an actual live bot that's running in the real world, and it's generating very profitable results, cheaper costs per deal and lead than other traditional channels that we've been running for this client. So why does this work so well? With prizes and promotions, you're able to mask the sell, right? No one typically wants to be sold anything. There's this defense mechanism when a person feels like they're being sold. Everyone likes being involved in something, especially if they could end up being a winner, right? So from a psychological perspective, when they're the ones involved in the contest and they have this chance of winning, they sort of assume the psychological role of the seller instead of the one being sold. And that's a very powerful psychological thing that you could tap into when you allow people the chance to win something that other people won't necessarily win, right? So that's very, very powerful. Contests can leverage the social effect. People are likely to share news of the prizes, and you could actually design bots, and I'll show you an example of one where we require that they share news of a prize if they're a winner, and you sort of amplify your brand, and you get other people who are willing to participate as well. People are interested in not losing out on a deal. This is a psychological construct that's been studied over and over again. People are more motivated than potential loss than they are by potential gain. I'm sure many of you have heard that concept before, especially if what they stand to lose is theirs. So if we say, hey, we have this free prize that's waiting for you, it has your name on it, whatever it is, all you need to do is fill out this form to receive it, then that's something which you're sort of conveying is mine already, and this is research that was done by Claude Hopkins back in the 20s and early 30s. Very, very powerful concepts in marketing. People do not want to miss out on a deal. There's also a very strong behavioral component that motivates someone to not be wasteful. There's this cognitive dissonance that if a person typically, by and large, is careful about his spending, and he's careful about being wasteful, and then there's like an opportunity presented to him that I could win something. I could win a free prize. I could win a discount. I could win a free piece of furniture, whatever it is. Then there's like a real psychological discomfort and tension if a person passes up that opportunity, right? So if I could win something for free, I should attempt to, as long, and this is extremely important, as long as winning is realistic and does not require upfront investment. Because if you require upfront investment, then there's no longer cognitive dissonance, because then, okay, I could pay for this and I could get it by my upfront investment. My input will produce an output, but then I could just also not produce that input if I don't want to do it. A prize is like, listen, you don't really have to do much, and we have something for you for free of real value. So it also has to be legitimately valuable, and of course the chances of winning have to be realistic. Most importantly, it's fun, and people like to have fun. We don't need to elaborate on that point at all. So let's think about prizes and giveaways from a financial perspective. Getting customers and leads involved in prizes, giveaways, contests, it should be viewed as any other marketing expense. For some reason, this happens with like tons of clients that I speak to. They immediately react to the idea of giving something away for free as wasted money. But I tell them, like, you don't look at PPC that way. When we talk about getting clicks to your website and you're going to have to pay Google for clicks, you're going to have to pay Facebook for clicks, you don't tell me like it's a waste of money. It's like, oh, like what you ask me what the return is. So that's the same thing. Like, you have to look at offering discounts or prizes or giveaways or promotions or sweepstakes as any other marketing expense. And in order to do that scientifically, because if you're going to be a real successful digital advertiser, it's important for you to be able to do this from a financial perspective, from a scientific perspective, because that's what's going to differentiate you from lesser advertisers, and it's also what's going to help you make sure that you stay profitable. And like I've reiterated a number of times in different sessions and all my content is, there's only two types of advertising campaigns, in my opinion: ones that are successful and ones that are ones that are failures. And the ones that are successful are profitable, and the ones that aren't are not profitable. That's all it is. So you have to know these formulas. You need to know these numbers. So quickly, lifetime value. And I think that these slides will become available. So if I'm going to run through some of this stuff relatively quickly, because I'm already, I think, around 15 or so minutes in, and I want to be able to get to a few different additional topics. Lifetime value is the amount of value marginal profit a customer generates over their lifetime, right? Very straightforward. So the calculation, the formula to figure out lifetime value is the average marginal profit per customer multiplied by their repeat purchase rate. That gives you a lifetime value. So your profit per customer, not the revenue, that would be lifetime revenue, let's say, but the actual profit a customer generates multiplied by how many times they generate that profit. And what that profit is gives you your lifetime value. And we're going to go into this in a little bit more detail quite shortly. It's important to understand customer acquisition cost. We'll refer to this as CAC, which is the total cost associated with acquiring a new customer. How much money do you need to spend to get a new closed deal? This applies to e-commerce, it applies to lead gen, it applies to every brand that sells something. So you take your product costs and your sales costs and your marketing costs and your shipping costs and whatever costs are associated with servicing a customer, which means whatever is associated in servicing your service that you're selling or the product that you're selling, divided by the number of new customers over whatever date range you're analyzing. So if you're looking at your product cost, marketing costs over the course of 90 days, then divide that by the number of new customers over 90 days, 30 days, etc. That gives you your customer acquisition cost. And there is one more number that's very important for you to know. You need to know your average revenue per sale. How much money is generated in a typical sale? And these are numbers that you should be able to know. Like you might not have a business that's been running for a long time, but if you have some analytics on your site, you could get your average your average checkout value, which is your average revenue per sale. Or if you know, like maybe you know that you sell iPhone cases that cost $20, so it's $20 average revenue per sale. If a person typically buys a $10 screen protector with the iPhone case, then your average revenue per sale is $30, right? So you need to know your average revenue per sale, and you absolutely have to know these numbers just from the outset in your business. It's really important because these three numbers will help you generate lots of other good, important, and very useful information to know. So let's go further. Let's take a look at a basic example here. And this is actually not far off from some actual numbers of one of our clients. I was pulling these numbers yesterday as I was preparing some of the slides. So say we spent $1,083,737 on product shipping over the last 30 days. And we also spent $225,000 in marketing costs. Let's say those were Facebook ads, pay-per-click ads, etc. We divide that by the number of new customers. We get those new customer data from Google Analytics or whatever software you're using. If you're tracking it manually, fine. That's the new customers acquired over the last 30 days. And that equals a $251.68 CAC, customer acquisition cost. That's the amount of money we spent over the last 30 days acquiring each new customer, $251.68. But we need to remove the marketing costs when we're figuring out what our true CAC is in the context of campaigns that will send us referrals. If we're trying to get people to now evangelize our brand on social media, because we don't spend those marketing costs on those customers. So we could actually remove marketing costs from the equation to get a better number for our purposes here today. So if we remove the marketing, the $225K spent on marketing, and it sort of depending on what type of prize or giveaway you're looking to produce will affect whether or not that portion of the formula should be included or excluded. But in our cases, we're gonna exclude it. We have a $208.41 customer acquisition cost. Now let's say our average revenue per sale is $379. I know this from analytics. We can go in, let's say in this case we have a client that sells hundreds, if not thousands of different products, and we get an average over the course of amount of time. And if you want to learn about statistical averages and p-values and confidence intervals, by all means, that's a good thing to do. But you should definitely know your average revenue per sale. We know our customer acquisition cost, our CAC in this example, is $208. So we could figure out what our profit margin is all of a sudden. We take 100 minus 208 divided by 379. 208 is our customer acquisition cost divided by 379, which is our average revenue per sale. Multiply that up by 100. We multiply that by 100, which is a 45% profit margin. If we take away the first part of that equation, the 100 minus, then we get 55%. That's cost of goods sold. If you see cost of goods sold, COG, and you subtract that from 100, gives you what's remaining, which is what you put in your pocket. So 45% profit margin. So you have a 45% profit margin. Great. So our revenue is $379 and our customer acquisition cost is $208 and it's a 45% profit margin. Okay, but how much of that is actual profit? So we could figure that out pretty quickly. You just take $379 minus $208 gives you $171. There's other ways you can figure that out by taking $379 and subtracting $379 again, which is your average revenue per sale, by 55%. Also gives you $171, which is your marginal profit per customer, and we could just call that your profit per customer. And like I show you on the bottom there, 379 minus 208. 379 is your revenue per sale. 208 is your customer acquisition cost. Everything that's associated with getting that customer leaves you with $171, which is 45% that you're putting in your pocket, okay? So now we know we'll be able to figure out our LTV. So you take $171. $171 is our marginal profit per customer. If you remember our formula for LTV, which is your profit per customer, which we've now figured out using our customer acquisition cost, $171 multiplied by 1.8. I know that my repeat purchase rate is 1.8, that not every customer buys a second time, but most customers buy a second time. So I know my repeat is 1.8, and that gives me an LTV, a lifetime value of $308 per customer. Okay, so now I know that each customer is generating $308. I now have the information that I can start assessing whether or not a giveaway or a prize is going to be profitable. I know I don't want to spend $300 and leaving myself with $8 of profit. You need to make sure that if you're giving away a prize, you're giving away a free gift, you can't wipe away all the profitability from the promotion by whatever it is you're giving away. So you need to start off by understanding your lifetime value. I know that we went through this pretty quickly and there might be some lingering questions, but for the sake of time, it's important to move forward to see sort of a little bit how this comes together. So here's an example of another client that's running a contest, right? So enter now to win any item off our website, new winner picked every Monday. This is a contest that's working extraordinarily well for us. People are really, really engaged. It's a really legitimate, no fine print contest. Every single Monday, we choose a winner from the leads that have interacted with this ad. And of course, interacting with the ad means they have to answer a bunch of questions, etc. We have some self-identifiers, and a new winner is picked every Monday. But we also give out coupons to the quote-unquote losers. So here's how it looks real quick. Say, here are the rules. In order to be entered into the raffle, you need to answer one question. We will select a winner every single week. You could choose any item. Free means free. I hope you win, Isaac, although I'm just a bot and I don't really know what it feels like to hope for anything. So you could always be funny if that's funny. I don't know. If you're the lucky winner this week, what type of furniture would you choose for your prize? Just tap or click one of the answers below and you'll be automatically entered into this week's sweepstakes. So now we're asking them for some very, very important information. What are you in the market for? An accent chair, a recliner, a sofa, a sectional? We're getting this information by the boatload. And we're now able to take that information and incorporate it into our actual follow-up drip campaigns and chat blasts to be more personalized and to be more content specific to what they specifically told us they're in the market for. Here's an image on the right-hand side of what it looks like when we announce a winner. And of course, we give out coupons to everybody else who didn't win something special. But I wanted to spend the last minute or two talking about a couple things. And we say, come, let's have tea and talk about happy things, because that's what we say at our office when things get a little murky and complicated and tricky. And this is where we are, because all these things get a little tricky. Nothing here is really a perfect science. You sort of have to have a good head and know your formulas to be able to pick these things apart and unpack them a little bit, right? So say we were trying to come up with an idea to promote this company, right? So we can't give out free sofas, right? We'd lose whatever our costs of goods are, in this case about 55% of the sale price, going back to this example, and these numbers are, of course, are not exact. If a customer chooses a $900 sofa, we'd lose $495. Those would be the costs. Remember, 55% was our cost of goods sold. So a $900 sofa would cost us out of pocket $495. So we're not in the business of giving away free sofas, of course. The goal is to generate multiple sales from the entire pool of participants, right? So if we give out a $900 sofa and we spend $495 on this giveaway, we need to make sure that we're finding value in that promotion elsewhere. So are we able to generate sales from the entire pool of participants that are new leads by giving them, let's say, a 10 or 15% off coupon code? That's where the profitability of such a promotion will come into play. So profitability here should be looked at just like any other campaign. Don't let you or your client harp or focus on that you're giving away something off your website for free. Of course, provided that you're not cheapening the brand. Provided you're not cheapening the brand. So profitability should be looked at just like any other type of campaign. So let's take a look at what this example here. So we have $11,370 revenue on 30 sales, right? So let's say we're doing an analysis, and of course this is fictitious. Say we spent $1,500 on Facebook ads, $495 the cost of a $900 prize selection, plus $6,250, let's say shipping and product costs, equals $8,245, which is all our costs. So we have our revenue, we have our costs. So we know that the basic formula for ROI is $11,370 minus $8,245, right? Revenue minus cost divided by cost equals our ROI, which in this case is 37.9%. Fantastic, right? So we have a 37.9% return on investment if this is the results. And again, this is obviously, I can't disclose actual numbers, but what I'm showing you here is how to use CAC, customer acquisition costs, LTV, lifetime value, and ROI formulas to assess how profitable you predict any sort of marketing giveaway to be. But the fundamental thing is you should be moving away from like your generic, like, oh, here's an info call out for some product feature we have, to like get involved in a social setting, share your winnings. We have prizes, we have giveaways, we have sweepstakes. You don't need to do this to cheapen. This doesn't have to cheapen your brand. It could be, we're gonna treat your friend to a free smoothie or a free treatment or a free massage when you kind of book, one of these packages, whatever it is. But there's still a couple questions here, right? What are the questions that remain? What are the net gains from a promotion? Can you have generated the same or more revenue without offering any prize, right? That's a question to play devil's advocate. Like, why offer the free sofa? Maybe just run a regular campaign. So the obvious answer is in almost all cases, no. The incentive to click on the ad and get involved is the possibility of winning something. That's what drives high click-through rates from these campaigns. And we see incredibly high click-through rates that blow click-through rates from PPC and email out of the water. Then we talked about, are you cheapening your brand? How can you rephrase a contest that doesn't make it look like you're giving something away for free? And we have a client that does negotiating seminars, and we're offering a free $500 Amazon gift card or Visa prepaid credit card to people who stay and take a 45-minute post-seminar survey. And the way we're phrasing that is, of course, the whole thing is a marketing technique to get more signups. We're phrasing it is that if you do something for us that's important to us, we'll reward you with this prize, and it doesn't cheapen the brand. So you could always think of creative ways to not cheapen your brand. Lastly, real quick, because I think this is an important thing to understand, how do you assess two different promotions? For example, I literally had this conversation with this client where I said, listen, we want to run an ad that every week a user could pick a free item off the site, no limit. The client's like, are you crazy, Isaac? We're not giving away any item. We have $1,000 items, $1,200 items, not happening. Limited to 500. I was like, no, I'm absolutely adamant that this will be better. So that was the conundrum, that was the impasse. Like, he wanted to limit he wanted to make some fine print saying you could choose any item as long as it's not above $500. And I say, no, it should be a shopping spree, any one item. So the best way to resolve this dispute is to test the two promotions against each other, right? As long as you can expect a reasonable degree of profitability from both versions, you should test them, right? And again, of course, make sure your promotions aren't wiping away all the profit. Now, in this case, here's a breakdown of different scenarios of test results. So when we were offering any item, and this is exactly why I was pushing to give more away. So the initial reaction from the client was like, no, we can't give away. We can't give away. It's going to cost us too much money, just 500. And I said, why don't we look at this from a marketing perspective to see which promotion will ultimately drive more money in your pocket, which is profit. That's the only thing that matters, right? So in the image to the left, when we were offering any prize, the prize list price, let's say I'm assuming that every single time a winner came, they picked the most expensive prize, which was $1,000, double the max proposed by the client. So the prize cost is $550, right? That's the 55% that we pay to ship and manufacture a $1,000 item off our site. So impressions are going to be consistent. Say we bought from Facebook ads 20,000 impressions, but the click-through rate is the one thing that changes. So the click-through rate is 8% on an any item giveaway, and either 7.5 or 3% on a $500 max giveaway. And take a look at what happens. So the cost of ads is $14.72 in the first chart, $12.88 when it's a $500 max. Clicks, $1,600, $1,400. Conversion rate will stay the same, right? The losers are all getting a 15% coupon, so we're assuming the conversion rate will stay the same at 2%. How many sales generated? 32 sales generated from when we offered any price, 28 sales generated when we offered a $500 max. Revenue was $12,128 versus $10,612 with a profit of $3,400 versus $3,200, right? So with just a 1% difference or 1% drop in click-through rate by offering a not as appealing promotion, you're losing profit. Even though you're saving a few $100 on the cost of the free thing you're giving away, you're even saving money on your ads because your click-through rate and your paying per click is less. You're actually generating less profit at the end of the day. Now, if you compare that with the chart on the right, where your CTR would be 3% instead of 8%, let's say, if you're offering a $500 max item, and the sale is seriously less appealing, there's fine print. What if I want an item that's 600, whatever it is, and you keep the same 20,000 impressions, right? You keep the same 2% click-through rate from your losers. You only generate 12 sales with $4,500 in revenue and $1,200 in profit versus the $3,400 in profit that you've been generating through a campaign, a promotion that's generating a higher click-through rate. So you could use math to determine what exactly are we doing here. So we don't have enough time left. I wanted to walk you through a couple different of these examples. These slides will be made available to any of the attendees here, but I'm just going to jump to the last slide real quick. Key takeaways. Promotions, gifts, contests work best when you're offering something legitimately valuable. Remember that. The consumer is not an idiot. Make it valuable. Making visitors feel that cognitive dissonance, that cognitive tension. They ought to be involved in this. Don't cheapen your brand. If you think that you're going to be cheapening your brand, rephrase something to make it more luxurious, more sophisticated. Assess the cost just like any other marketing cost. Know your formulas. Know your customer acquisition costs. Know your lifetime value. Know your ROI formulas so you can talk to your clients intelligently about exactly how profitable this is going to ultimately be for you. Run different promotions side by side to determine the best approach for your business. Leverage social to your advantage. So if you're going to give away a winner, make sure that the winner has to share it on social media, to tag their friends. Run contests. Anybody who shares this post or anybody who tags 30 friends who then visit our site or buy something gets entered into one of our monthly sweepstakes or whatever it is. Use the content marketing value of MobileMonkey to further engage your leads. So now once you're getting these leads into your contests, you ask questions like, what are you in the market for? Why haven't you tried this product yet? What's your greatest fear? What are your hesitations? And now you could use those personalization attributes to engage people with those chat blasts and your drip campaigns. And of course, there's tons of content on MobileMonkey and in my follow-up course that gives you all the information about how to run chat blasts and drip campaigns, etc., so on and so forth. So we're probably a couple minutes over time. I want to really seriously thank you, each one of you, for coming and watching this. I hope at least you got a couple practical tips and tricks. These are things that are working in the real world for us. They're working incredibly well. I have absolutely no doubt that they will work for you too. These are some of the most profitable campaigns that we're running, and we're seeing with messenger marketing combined with MobileMonkey, incredibly high engagement rates, more profitability than traditional channels like email marketing, paid search, even your traditional Facebook click to website ads. It's really, really fantastic. So check out mobilemonkey.com. Feel free to check us out on the web, www.adventureppc.com. Once again, my name is Isaac Rudansky. Thank you for taking the time to come on this quick 25-minute journey with me. I know that we rushed through some of the topics, but yet I hope you have a couple